So if you're like me, you've probably lived most of your life in survival mode and you're starting to realize just how much of a detrimental effect it's been having on you. You've probably spent most of your life constantly running on this hamster wheel, just trying to keep up with everyone. And on top of that, you probably have these intrusive thoughts that the worst case scenario is going to happen and that you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. As someone who's lived in survival mode for pretty much her entire life, I can completely relate to the feeling, and I've dedicated the last 2 years to healing my nervous system, and I'm going to show you exactly how. Regulating your nervous system is arguably the most important thing you could do for yourself because it dictates the outcome of your life. It quite literally determines the career you choose, the relationships you tolerate, and the overall quality of your life. A lot of people think that it's your mind that creates your reality, but it's really your nervous system that creates your reality. You can have the biggest dream for your life, the biggest goals for your life, but none of it will actually come true unless your nervous system is aligned to that reality. And you could probably relate to this, right? You probably have so many goals that you really want to accomplish, but for some reason it seems like your body is doing the opposite thing. And it's simply because you're in constant tug of war between your body and your mind. When you are in survival mode, also known as fight or flight mode, your body is not going to feel safe to create the dreams that you want. You will always feel this tug of war inside of you because your body and mind are not in alignment. And that's why hustle culture is such a big thing, because people just teach you to ignore your body's signals, to just keep pushing through, even if your body's setting all these alarm systems that it needs to slow down. Hustle culture just really teaches you to ignore all these alarm systems. And so you're constantly climbing up this mountain. And that's why it seems so difficult to get the things that you want. It's not because the universe is against you or you're cursed or you're just unlucky. It's simply because your nervous system doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel safe to create the dream life that you want. That's why it's super important to make sure that you take measures to actively regulate your nervous system. This will be the best investment you can ever make for your entire life, because once you heal your nervous system, you will never look outside of you to regulate yourself. If you are dysregulated, you're going to look outside of you, whether it be through food, through shopping, through certain online addictions. There's a plethora of this out in the world where people take advantage of those, unfortunately, who do not have regulated nervous systems. And they can sell you a temporary fix that may work for maybe a day or two, but then you're right back in that same dysregulated state. And you're going to keep looking for things outside of you to make you feel whole. But there are such easy and simple things you can do on a daily basis that can help regulate your nervous system. Most of them are free, if not extremely affordable, and I just wish that people would know and talk about this more, because it's quite literally changed my life. I feel like a completely different person. I don't even know how I survived before this. I was in such a chaotic state. I was in toxic relationships. I had a drug addiction. I had extreme anxiety to the point where I felt like passing out because I was in such survival mode. And I'm not claiming that I'm healed or that I have all the answers. I've dedicated these last 2 years to really diving deep into regulating my nervous system so I can have the best life possible, so I can live up to my soul's purpose, so I can create my dream reality. So let's get into it. The number one thing that I did that probably had the biggest impact on regulating my nervous system is therapy. And specifically, it's EMDR therapy, which stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. So I've done talk therapy for around a year, which is the traditional therapy that most people think of when they think of therapy. And then that somehow led me into trying EMDR therapy. There's a massive difference between the two. In talk therapy, you're mainly just bringing up anything that's bothered you in your past, and then you're kind of just reframing how you look at it. And that could be helpful, but EMDR just completely blows it out of the park, because not only are you bringing up past memories that you've had, but you're finally giving yourself a chance to actually reprocess them so that you're once and for all done with it, and it literally sets you free. So I would highly recommend looking this up. It is going to be an investment, but like I said, investing in your nervous system is the best thing you could do for yourself. We spend money on such frivolous things these days. Might as well spend it on something that's actually going to improve the quality of your life. If you can't do EMDR therapy or there's just no one nearby you, then another thing I'd recommend is EFT tapping. Basically how it works is that you're tapping on certain acupressure or meridian points, and that actually stimulates the vagus nerve, and that has a very calming effect. Simultaneously, you're also rewiring old thought patterns. So if you have any certain limiting beliefs around money, around love, around, anything that's bothering you in your life, you're actively processing that. So I've been doing this every day, and I would highly recommend you check out Brad Yates on YouTube. He makes these videos. He's been making them for like 10 years on YouTube, pretty much almost consistently, at least once a week. And so he has like thousands and thousands of videos on any topic you could ever think of. They're 5 to 10 minutes long. It really doesn't take a while. And instantly I notice how much more relaxed and happy and calm I feel. So I would highly recommend this. I've been also thinking about making some EFT tapping videos myself around certain topics that I think would be really helpful. So stay tuned for that. Okay, the third thing that I've been doing consistently every day that I could swear by are Joe Dispenza's meditations. I highly recommend these. These have been life-changing, probably like second to EMDR therapy, extremely helpful. I've known about Joe Dispenza for a really long time, but I really got into his meditations this year. If you go on his website, there's several meditations that you could try that could be pretty intense if you're new to the meditation world. So I'd recommend at least checking out the morning and the nighttime meditations. They're 30 minutes long each, and just check it out and try it and see for yourself how much of an impact it has. I really like the idea of meditating in the morning because it really helps prime your day. It sets your day up for success. And then at nighttime as well, so that you could just reflect on the day. You can think positively before you sleep, which really helps regulate your nervous system. Simultaneously, while I'm doing the meditations, I really like red light. Now, there's two forms of red light that you could look into. One is just the standard red light bulb that you could get just like anywhere from like a party store or on Amazon. I have the Philips Hue light bulbs that I like using, and I just turn it to the red light color. And this just has an instant calming effect. When we see red light, we instantly feel more relaxed, more calm, more subdued. So it's really nice to have this on while you're meditating, while you're journaling, especially at nighttime. If you wanted to take a step up, then you could look into infrared light therapy or near infrared light therapy. I'm pretty sure you know about this. It's been like all over the place, but like people use them as masks. You can get certain panels as well. I use I think it's called the Huga brand. I'll link everything that I'm talking about below in the description so you could check it out. But I've done tons of research to make sure I get a legitimate panel that's like evidence-based, that's science-backed. So red light devices are way different than just like a red light bulb that you could get. Red light devices, they emit a specific wavelength of light, which is between 630 and 850 nanometers. So at these wavelengths, the light can actually penetrate through your skin and muscles as well and have all sorts of other benefits like anti-aging and helping with muscular recovery. All of that obviously is going to have a really nice trickle-down effect on your nervous system because when you recover your muscles, you're going to feel more calm. The fifth thing that I've been doing that's been really helping my nervous system is being really careful with the music that I listen to. I used to not believe this, trust me. I used to listen to everything and anything, whatever's popular, I would just play it, thinking it doesn't really have an impact on my mood. When you think about it, everything around us are just frequencies, just wavelengths, right? And so obviously, if something is going to be really stressful and chaotic and you're listening to it, it's gonna make you feel stressful and chaotic. Obviously, I wouldn't say cut out music completely, but be very selective with what you listen to. And there's been ongoing research to show that high frequency music, especially at 432 hertz, can have an incredibly calming effect. It can induce brain-heart coherence, which basically means that your brain and heart are basically in alignment. And when they are in alignment, then you will feel the most regulated ever. So 432 hertz music. So I just look on Spotify for certain playlists that have high frequency music. Another thing I highly encourage you look up on Spotify is something called binaural beats. So how binaural beats work is they emit a different frequency in each ear, and this actually puts the brain into a theta state, which promotes deep relaxation and takes you out of fight or flight mode. The sixth thing that I'd recommend is swapping caffeine for teas. Now, I'm not saying completely omit caffeine from your diet because that would be very hypocritical of me. I still have my cup of coffee in the morning, but don't have like 3 cups of coffee every day. That is definitely going to put you at a dysregulated state. It's like basically having a sports car are in a suburb. Like, you don't need to have all this energy and fuel. So I've been really getting into teas lately, and my current favorite is peppermint tea. I have been loving peppermint tea. Honestly, any tea that you like will do. Like, all teas have such good benefits, but peppermint tea really, really helps calm the nervous system, helps promote digestion. This is my favorite brand, the Twinnings one. You can get it on Amazon, or most grocery stores carry it as well. And then this one I found at a local farmer's market. So peppermint tea is incredibly helpful, but obviously there's so many other ones like chamomile and lavender. The list is endless. Just like, honestly, I'd recommend just pick a favorite tea and go with it. Another thing that I've been loving that's really putting me in a calming state is increasing magnesium in my diet. A lot of us are actually deficient in magnesium and we just don't know about it. And magnesium is so essential for like almost every bodily function. I've been really liking taking magnesium before I go to sleep. This is the Moon Juice one, and it also has L-theanine, which really helps promote rest and relaxation. So I love to make my sleepy girl mocktail at nighttime, and I like this brand a lot. I'd recommend looking into some sort of magnesium supplements that could be very, very calming. Another thing that I've been really liking are essential oils. Essential oils can really help promote relaxation because they increase GABA, which is a neurotransmitter that helps calm your nervous system. There's so many you could look into. Lavender is really helpful. I have this anxiety ease one. Frankincense is a really good one as well. What I do is I just take a couple droplets of this, put it in my hand, rub it, and then just take a couple of deep inhales, and instantly you'll notice how calm you feel within seconds. This works really quickly because the olfactory nerve has a direct connection with our brain, so it works like instantaneously. I keep this like in my bags. Another thing that I've been doing with my essential oils is I have this diffuser that I plug in, and I just put water in it, put a few droplets of my essential oil, and then all day long I just get to smell a very calming scent. I like candles, but honestly this is such a fun way to use essential oils to have a more calming therapeutic effect. Speaking of magnesium, cacao powder is really high in magnesium and is a superfood. So wintertime is coming. Replace your hot chocolate with cacao powder, maybe add some almond milk and maple syrup, and this would make such a relaxing, calming drink at nighttime. I got this one by the Navitas brand. It's unsweetened, it's organic. Number 10 on the list is Breathwork. Breathwork is so underrated, but it can make the world of a difference for your nervous system. So I'm a big fan of free resources. Breathwork with Sandy on YouTube is like a life changer. I love watching his videos. Once again, they're not very long. I mean, some of them could be like an hour long. If you have that much time, definitely do it. I've done some of his 1 hour videos and they're really, really nice. But even just like if you have 10 minutes in the morning, doing some breath work can be really, really helpful. It's crazy that most of us don't even know how to breathe properly. Taking deep breaths is so overlooked. I've been taking deep breaths a lot more, and like people literally look at me weirdly because it's just so unusual, but it's literally free. It's the easiest thing you could do, and it is quite life-changing. For number 11, I'd highly recommend a form of exercise that incorporates both the mind and body. So this could be Tai Chi. For me personally, it's yoga. I have been loving yoga, especially hot yoga, because what it does is that you put yourself in these really awkward, challenging positions, but then you train your mind to be okay with it and to stay calm during a very uncomfortable feeling. And so over time, what you're doing is building up resilience and you're training your nervous system. Probably one of the best things you could do for yourself. The last thing I'd highly recommend that probably made one of the biggest impacts on my nervous system is make sure you go outside and you take your daily nature walk. And I'm sorry, but the gym is not going to replace this. Like, you need to be going outside, looking at nature, breathing in fresh air. All of that has such an incredibly calming effect on the nervous system. There's one thing you take away from this video, I'd say at least take away the daily walks. Go get yourself outside. Go for 10 minutes. You're going to want to stay out for even longer and just walk and just process everything that's happened throughout your day, and try your best not to listen to anything when you're going on these walks. Yes, you can habit stack and do a lot of what I said during these walks, like maybe listening to binaural beats or high frequency music, or even like a really helpful self-development podcast. You can do all that, but definitely at least give yourself like 10 minutes of silence where you're just walking, you're admiring the nature, you're thinking of things you're grateful for, you're thinking positive thoughts. All this can have such a big impact on your nervous system. So those were 12 things that I've been implementing pretty much on a daily basis that have been making the world of a difference on my nervous system. I'm telling you guys, I feel like I'm a different person. Now that I'm actively moving out of survival mode, I now feel like so much more is possible for me. And I never even had these like dreams or ideas, and I'm actually able to be in touch with my intuition. The most beautiful thing about regulating your nervous system is this inner guidance and wisdom that you get. You get direct access to your intuition. A lot of us have lived a life where we're constantly told what's right for us. We're constantly told that we actively have to take these steps to get to a certain destination, but we completely disregard that everyone has their own journey and everyone has their own specific roadmap to get to their highest selves. So I'm sure that you have a big dream or vision for yourself. And the best way to get there is by first and foremost regulating your nervous system. When you regulate your nervous system, you clear out all that junk, you clear out all those negative voices, the self-limiting beliefs, and you gain access to such a larger and more beautiful way of living life. It really is like living in a different world. And I'm just so excited for more and more of us to get out of survival mode and get into creator mode. If you found this video helpful, definitely give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and also share this knowledge with anyone you know. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.